is a 2-mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a hoop.
All right, welcome in the Joe Murray Show. Mark Dondero taking you up until Celtics-Spurs. They're telling me it's a Wemby Wednesday. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm happy to embrace it. The last game before the All-Star break, I believe. So, look, we'll have time to get into this Celtics game a little closer to tip. But, you know, I haven't been on since the Super Bowl. There's a lot to discuss. There's a lot to talk about in terms of the Red Sox. I know they were doing that on Felger and Maz. I know the Red Sox had their first workout. Long way to go till baseball season. It's nice to hear about workouts in baseball and, you know, the sound of the ball hitting the glove and all of those different things. That's fine. That's beautiful. But what's disappointing, though, honestly, driving in, it was disappointing to hear. I think it was Big Jim who talked about, at one point, mentioned, you know, the selling of the team and selling the team. And it's just a very disappointing narrative to have to go back to, and I understand why we do. And now here I go. You know, I don't want to get too fired up because it feels like if they're not going to get fired up about the Boston Red Sox, why should I? That's what it feels like. So it's very disappointing for me to sit here on the precipice of what's another spring training, knowing, and I'll just call it like I see it, knowing that the team's not doing everything they can do to win. Okay, and I can't stand listening to Craig Breslow. I can't stand his voice. You know, I don't know if he's frustrated. I don't know if it's something that's hard for him to deal with every day when he goes into work, knowing that the team is not doing everything possible to win. I know it's fun to be the president of the Red Sox and have that, you know, office overlooking Fenway Park or whatever it is. That must be nice. You played. Now you're on, you're in a management position. Great. I just, they're not doing everything they can do to win. And that's what's going on here. I feel like it should be a bigger story. It's not necessarily scandalous, but that's what's going on here. The Boston Red Sox don't do everything they can do to win. Okay, and it manifested itself again this week. And it's not, some game changer or some breaking news or anything like that. But I heard Tyler Milliken's rant. Loved it. He was talking about the prospects, and it's not even really important what he said. He was talking about prospects. Okay? And that's been a big topic of conversation for a long time. Prospects and what's coming and all these different things associated with the prospects. I've had it with the prospects because we've seen it's in our face. And by the way, we're coming off of a season that just featured in the World Series the Dodgers and the Yankees, two of the biggest markets you could ever ask for. The other team in the ALCS, check that. The NLCS was the New York Mets. Huge market team, to the moon type of ownership, trying to do all these different things. And now you have the Boston Red Sox. And if you want to know how the prospects, the pipeline is supposed to work, if you're the Boston Red Sox, look at the Dodgers. I just feel like we need a reminder. Look at the Dodgers. Look at the old Red Sox. Look at the Yankees. Okay? The way that these teams are supposed to manage the prospects is if the prospect is so good that you can't deny him a spot in the lineup, then you put him in. That's how it works. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't sit there and wait and hope on prospects becoming MLB stars after years of developing in the minors. You don't do that. Not when you're the Boston Red Sox. That's risky business for any organization, but I understand why teams like Tampa or Oakland, even though Oakland's spending money or wherever they're from now. Sacramento, Vegas, whatever they are. Spent more money than the Red Sox. But if you're Boston, you have a team. You go out and you spend and you get a team with real players that play real positions, real second baseman, real first baseman. Not a black hole, an actual player that you pay a lot of money to play that position. That's what the Boston Red Sox are supposed to do. Then, if you have a promising prospect, the reason that you're able to know that he can play is because he is so overwhelmingly good. Even though you have a team filled with capable major league players, some stars and some players, you can't deny this prospect a spot in the lineup because he's so overwhelmingly good. That's how the Boston Red Sox are supposed to handle prospects. I'm not supposed to sit here and hitch my wagon for 4 years or 3 years or whatever it is to this group of prospects who are coming up through the pipeline and one day, because they're going to eventually disappoint you. If you attach that much hope to Roman Anthony, we're not talking about LeBron James here. Now, he might be a fine player. He might be fine. I don't know how good is he going to be a star? Maybe. I guess. But are any of these prospects ever big stars? Sometimes they are. Most of the time they're not. Andrew Benintendi wasn't a star. Yohan Moncada, what happened to him? I don't even know if I've heard his name since he got traded. And they were big prospects. Some turn into good players. Rafael is a good player. He's a good player. Jarren Duran's a good player. But we've attached so much hope to these prospects, these guys coming up through the pipeline. How are we not going to be disappointed? If Roman Anthony doesn't come up and hit 24 home runs or do something that really catches your eye, I don't know what I'm going to feel. And that type of pressure shouldn't be on these kids, these players, these young guys. The Boston Red Sox should be in business and in the business of fielding a competitive team that honestly, year in and year out, should compete for a World Series berth. Really. We know that. I don't need to sit here and tell you that, but I don't want to keep hearing about I don't know what they're doing over there. And that quote today, the urgency crap, what is that? Every time somebody at Fenway Park opens their mouth, the stock price goes down. You cannot open your mouth without ruining something over at Fenway Park nowadays. It's brutal. Stop talking. Step one would be just shut up. Everyone. There's no one I want to hear from. Maybe I can stomach Alex Cora. That's fine. That's fine. Everyone else I don't want to hear from. I can't stand Sam Kennedy. I don't want to hear from definitely can't stand Craig Breslow. That sewage that comes out of his mouth. Urgency. He's talking to one of the most intelligent, capable fan bases in the history of pro sports. We can see it. It takes no effort to see what's going on. None. Sitting there and trying to tell somebody like me or this whole region that urgency is hard to define, that's ludicrous. That's ridiculous. All of us are sitting here watching what the Red Sox are doing or aren't doing, and we can see it. We know. And it's because we're not stupid, but it's also because we saw what it used to be. We see what's going on elsewhere in Major League Baseball. We're watching what the Celtics have done. We're watching who just won the Super Bowl, the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's go trade for A.J. Brown. Let's go trade for Saquon Barkley. Hello. That's how you win. That's how you win. Celtics. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm crossing sports. I don't care. I cross sports. I don't care. That's how you win. You be aggressive. You go get good players. Players that know how to play. Stars. You generate energy and excitement within the fan base because everybody's jacked up to see what's going to happen now that you got those good players. You don't do what the Dallas Mavericks did. You go out and get stars. And the worst part is the Red Sox, that's supposed to be their advantage. That's their advantage. The prospects are supposed to be convenient for teams like the Red Sox. And when one becomes so good, they're undeniable when it comes to putting them in the lineup. That's how it has, because you already have a capable roster. You're not sitting there just twiddling your thumbs waiting for one of them to come up and emerge. Because you're probably going to be disappointed, and to build your... look, I'm all for homegrown talent and homegrown all that. I love that. But the whole team, the whole organization's hopes can't be hinged on this theory that these prospects via the analytics are going to come up and save you. You can't do that. Not with the way the other teams do business in Major League Baseball. If you want to win a championship. But the Red Sox don't want to win a championship. But I'm sorry, that's the point of sports. So there's a disconnect there. Total disconnect. If you don't want to win a championship, don't get into sports. Put your money somewhere else. Invest in other things. John Henry used to want to win championships. And by the way, this is why, and we won't, we'll do more of this later, but the whole thing, the Patrick Mahomes thing, shame on everybody. And I said this Sunday with McCarthy, anybody that tried to tell me that Patrick Mahomes was approaching Tom Brady, what an asshat. Okay? What a stupid thing to say. And you know who's a good example of why that was such a stupid thing to say? John Henry. How's John Henry's legacy right now? It's taking a major hit. Nobody likes John Henry right now. Nobody associated with the Red Sox fan base likes John Henry right now. And the guy brought 4 championships to the city, a city that was starving to see the Red Sox get it done. They finally break the curse. He does anything and everything you could have ever hoped. And nobody likes him. Why? Because they've seen what he's done recently. That's why the Mahomes thing was stupid. So what? Even if he won his 4th, so what? What if he went to 6 more and lost all of them? What if he kept losing in the playoffs after this? What if he looked terrible? What if the Chiefs went down the toilet? What if there was a scandal? I mean, you don't know if he's going to keep playing. You can't just dismiss other years that he has. Just like if we had dismissed what John Henry has done since 2019. Yeah, obviously it looked good early and before, but now it doesn't look as good based on how he's operating. I hate the baseball nerds. I hate the nerds. This was never supposed to be a takeover. They never were supposed to take over the game. This is wrong. It's not right. It's not right. It's a Wemby Wednesday. It's not right. And it's just, I'm just sitting here and we're waiting for spring training. And I love spring training. Damn it. I love coming home and there's a random game, Red Sox Twins game or whatever it is at 2 o'clock and I'm watching players I've never heard of. I like spring training. Makes me, I think about golf season that's coming and just knowing that I'm sitting here and I get that the crochet move was good, but they haven't done anything. They haven't proven anything since then. They're still not interested in spending money and actually trying to be aggressive. Urgency's a hard word to describe. Come on. What are you talking about? God, I hope there's never a fire in the Breslow home. Wouldn't even be, it's not tough to define. Get out of the house. It's urgent. 617-779-0985. Are we taking a break now, Skaz? All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back. Get you set. Celtics and Spurs tonight. Coming up right here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. Mark Dondero in for Joe Murray. time. And it's just one of the many topics associated with the Red Sox that I'm sick of. I just don't think relying on them is a good thing to do. I think it's unreliable at best. I'm excited to see what they can do at the major league level, but I feel like the Red Sox should be a part of an operation that has a real team on the field with real players that have been traded for, that have been brought up already, that are established in the major leagues, or that have been signed via free agency. And then when you have a prospect that's so good he can't be denied, that's when you put him in. You don't sit there dormant waiting for, these prospects to come up, and then when they do, finally, hey, all right. No. It's just one of the many reasons that you're frustrated, that I'm frustrated about the Red Sox. But if they're not going to care, I feel uncomfortable getting too fired up about it because they're not trying to win. We know what trying to win looks like. And when you say something about urgency, don't try to muddy the water for me. That's not going to happen. I know what I'm looking for, and I know I'm not seeing it. Okay? So it's just, you can only say so many times how pathetic it is. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else associated with the Red Sox we can cover. I mean, would it be better if we talked about their financials? The percentages of fans from Boston versus fans from other cities that come into Fenway Park? I mean, obviously that's poor radio, but I'm just like, what would you like? If you're the Red Sox, what do you want us to discuss when it's totally and clear that you're just not trying to win at the level that we've seen in the past? I mean, at least Gerard Mayo was trying to win. He had no clue what he was doing. At least he was trying. I'd rather have that any day of the week, get frustrated over that, than blatantly sit here, have to listen to Craig Breslow and watch a team that's not trying to win, not doing everything they can do to win. It's a weird feeling. Really strange. Because they could do it. They could be that team. They could be back to closer to what they were. And not be a team like, I don't know. I feel like the Dallas Mavericks, even though they traded away Luka Doncic, they did it for the wrong reasons, but it wasn't the sorry reasons that a Red Sox executive would come up with. I mean, if I'm really going to believe whatever the owner's talking about, and that he didn't work out hard enough, or the owner had this thing in his head of what he was supposed to be, or that he was supposed to be Kobe Bryant, he was supposed to be Mamba mentality, whatever it is, it was the wrong mentality for the owner. Just incredible. Celtics getting set to host the Spurs tonight, Wemby Wednesday. Can you imagine? I mean, I remember, we're going back a ways now. I remember when all of the chatter happened about Jason Tatum. That back then would have been seismic if the Celtics had moved Jason Tatum for a prime, even more prime Anthony Davis and or Jimmy Butler. I mean, just imagine that. Like, if that had happened, it would have been massive. It would have been the biggest story of the year. Most likely, depending on what the Patriots are doing. What the Dallas Mavericks did is 3 times as bad. I mean, they had a guy that was in his prime, established as a first-team All-NBA player, and they traded him for no reason at all. They traded him for a guy that's breaking down before our eyes. He can still be a dominant player. I know Anthony Davis has been, for the most part, healthy the last year and a half, 2 years, for the most part. But now he gets there and immediately is shelved. And they gave him away for nothing. Now it's nothing. A generational superstar, global superstar. Everybody wants to go. I mean, listen to the athletes around sports. The guys from Texas who are devastated by what this move was. Devastated. Pat Mahomes, Scotty Scheffler. Heartbroken. Legitimately heartbroken. I mean, we were all worried about whether the Celtics were going to do this 5 years ago, and Tatum wasn't even Tatum then. And you would have been getting prime Anthony Davis, Jimmy Butler. That's when the move could have been, theoretically something you entertained. I mean, this man just pissed away the whole Dallas Mavericks organization. I mean, it's crazy. And sure, you could talk yourself into some narrative that, hey, in the short term, it was better, and you got a guy that could be really, you have some big men. So then Anthony Davis could come in, he plays the 4, he's been healthy, he could be a dominant presence with Kyrie, and you have Klay, whatever. That's going to last 1 year, maybe 2. Maybe 2, probably not. And now here we are. And you got Luka Doncic on the Lakers, and you don't even open up the bidding across the league. That was the most bizarre thing. And the more I think about it, and the more time that's passed, that trade was such a disaster. You have crumbled the Dallas Mavericks organization, Nico Harrison. I don't know. I mean, maybe it came from above, but that organization is reeling. This isn't the NFL. This isn't baseball. Those guys are almost impossible to replace and find. I mean, that's legitimately like the Cincinnati Bengals giving away Joe Burrow for a receiver who's older. Just madness. All right, Celtics hosting the San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox, Wembayama coming to Boston here. All-Star break looming. Let's get...